Welcome to the PK Soul Show. Welcome to the PK Soul Show.
Hey everyone.
Hello. This is the PK Social. We're back.
Thanks for tuning in this week. I am Tammy.
And I am Amber.
And this week, guys, we have
another bonus. It's a bonus.
It's a bonus. Today's episode is about a group of PKs that many people may not know or realize that they were actually PKs.
Right.
We are going to talk about, instead of Greenleaf, we're going to recap the Braxtons. It takes a lot of energy, guys, for me to really talk about this because the Braxtons, and it's the Braxtons you're thinking if you're not sure, right. It's the singer Toni Braxton and her sisters. She has 4 sisters: Tamar, Towanda, Traci, Trina. And Trina. They actually have a brother as well.
Michael?
Michael is their brother, but Michael doesn't really. He's just a guest star. But it's about the girls, and in the
girls and their mom
and their mother,
occasionally
Evelyn,
their father, occasionally their significant others. Yes,
but I think the tripped out part now is like they've had some issues with the station that they have a contract with, and so we just saw an episode of them with
how do we say her name? Get it right.
Miss Vanzant, y'all. I'm not even
Iyanla Vanzant. I think that's how you say it. They have her fixing their life.
Yes. They have counseling probably every season. This season was a little deep.
Last season was last season TD Jakes, or was that the season before? I
believe last season was, I think it was TD Jakes.
Because I can't think of anybody else that counts. Oh, and they had a lady.
They've had maybe 2 other counselors.
Well, yes, the last big counseling session that they showed where it was like super dramatic was TD Jakes, and now it's Iyanla
Vanzant. And honestly, now that I think about TD Jakes, I can see why he got upset. If he went through what Vanzant went, like, and he was in a conference. They recorded in a city where he had a major conference. I can see why he went ham.
Yeah, because on that episode, it was the way they showed it. It was like you almost were kind of like, man, what made him go off like that?
Right.
But anyway,
Vanzant. I'm gonna tell you, Miss Vanzant. I'm gonna be real. I didn't even care for your show, but after seeing your interactions with the Braxtons, I think I'm gonna start recording your show because
I didn't care for her show. Her show has always been interesting to me.
I don't watch her. Yeah, I don't watch Vanzant. But after seeing this episode, I was like, I'm so glad that she got real and she spoke candidly with them because it's just unbelievable. Like, they're dynamic, and I feel bad for their parents because I feel like their excuse lies with the parents, which I think is very unfortunate because everyone's over 40 and it's ridiculous that no one acts over 40. But I mean, I love them. I've watched every season of the Braxtons, but I just feel like the drama is just,
I wish you played a little intro.
Unbelievable. Like, you're too old to go through this, to do what you're doing.
But of course, they are also, they're a family just like, I mean, what family doesn't have a dysfunctional moment? Actually, some families only have dysfunctional moments.
Correct.
But theirs is on camera.
True.
And it's for a show. So maybe, I don't know, they do make a lot of reference, or quite a few references on this particular episode of production. We TV.
Right.
So maybe, of course, I mean, more than likely, we was specifically picking the parts of their lives to show they were so full of drama. So
that's very true.
All they have is drama, but it could have.
I don't think that's true. Yeah, I don't think all aspects are dramatic.
So we do have to take that into consideration.
In the past, I think they had a really good balance of showing the fun, loving, sisterly side of their family.
And it just got drama.
And I don't know if it's just some people let fame go to their heads, or if it's just behind the scene issues that no one really knows, and the way they strategically edit the show could make the family look much worse. And I feel that may have something to do with why they did have a strike, why they did have the issues they did this season. But
that's just why we're here now.
Exactly. Just seeing what happened with part 1 of Miss Vanzant, it was just
So
Oh my
basically,
gosh. It was
what-
emotionally draining to watch. It was just
It
unbelievable.
wasn't that serious. She's being dramatic. Basically,
No, I'm not. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
It wasn't emotionally draining.
It was draining to see their family, to get to that point where you have to show that on TV.
They're doing a reality show. It's their choice.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they finally all come together. They go to their first session. She asked them, "Why am I here?" Nobody can answer the question. Awkward silence in the room. All of that. Once they finally get into the conversation and trying to figure out or pinpoint their exact issues and problems, she has them do this exercise. Okay, the show is called Braxton Family Values. Tell me what your values are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it kind of finally gets into, okay, they're going to start discussing issues. They say what their values are, loyalty, things of that nature. Loyalty, being for each other. What it should be, because they're a whole sisterhood. And once it gets to the dynamic of their parents, because their parents are also sitting there, that's when it kind of comes out to...
Now, mind you, just a background on their family.
Oh, yeah.
Their dad was a Methodist pastor.
It was Methodist?
I believe it was Methodist. And if I'm wrong, sorry, but he was a pastor.
Right.
And he was married to their mom, and he had an affair. And the family basically never got over that. They never... I don't want to say they didn't handle it properly, because I don't think anyone knows how to handle that type of situation. But being in, one, the limelight of R&B is Toni Braxton. Two, being in the limelight of the ministry, it probably was just very hard to cope with the situation and still remain true to yourself, or true to who you feel that you are, and deal with people watching you go through a heartbreaking situation with your family. It probably just affected each girl differently.
Right.
So each sister differently.
Well, yeah, because even, I know, in one particular episode, the daughters saw their mom extra hurt over what happened. And, you know, the dad could have been hurt too. We don't really know. He did the cheating, but we don't know what made him cheat.
Correct.
Any of that. So what we do know is the mom was definitely hurt by the infidelity.
Right.
And of course, you don't want to choose a parent. You don't want to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem, on, you know, with the Braxtons, it does very much seem like they were really there for their mom. They really sympathized for their mom. Right. And they kind of rode it out with her.
But I think they were torn because they still love their dad.
Right.
Even though he made them, he did what he did. And you can't call him a mistake because he's still with her.
No, you can't call him a
But
mistake.
and you never know in relationships. You never know what's going on. You never know how the dad felt, how the dad was treated. I'm not justifying what he did, but he is a man. Like, realistically, men turn to someone else if they feel like, if they're not at a place where they are spiritually sound enough. I would hate to say that about a pastor.
But he's a pastor.
I mean, you don't know spiritually where he was. True. You know, if he had a mentor that he could talk to help him through it, you never know. So if he felt some kind of way or whatever happened in their relationship, you never know what was in his mental process, what was in his mental thought for him to do that. And I'm definitely not excusing it. We just don't know what happened. Sadly, I don't even think the girls know. I don't think they
even
explained
talked about that when she went into, you know,
with Vanzant.
Yeah, when she was asking them their values, and one of their values, what goes on in the house stays in the house, and they mentioned how Toni was the one who told them, no, the parents told them they were getting divorced. All the girls were broken up, and they asked Toni, they would always go to her, is it true? What should we do? She's like, it's not true, they're not getting divorced. Instead of dealing with it and telling them, this is what happened, yes, they're going to get a divorce, Toni lied, and then next thing they knew, their parents got divorced.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess they still...
So no, I feel like now that they're older, of course they know he cheated, but we don't know whether, as the viewer, we don't know whether or not did they actually discuss in depth the whole episode.
Correct. What happened, what
from
led
beginning
to
to
that.
end.
And I don't think, honestly, I don't think they did that as a family, and I don't think they had counseling as a family back then.
I definitely didn't have it back then.
Right. So having it years later, and you form your opinions, and you've developed who you are as a person, as a woman,
gone through
and
their own divorces.
Exactly. They've had their own relationships that help form their opinion of what a relationship is and what should happen. I think that had something to do with where they are now and how they're receiving counseling now and how they act with each other, how they act with their parents, their interactions with each other. I think all of that plays into they never dealt with it then. That's actually something that's pretty, I don't want to say critical even in the church. To me, the church has come a long way in that people now understand that dealing with the mental issues that you go through, internalizing how you feel, what you think, internalizing what happens in a relationship, I think is now way more acceptable and encouraged to talk it out, to get counseling outside of just spiritual advice and wisdom. It's encouraged to see a therapist or to see someone that is clinically trained to deal with situations.
They went to a pastor last season.
Correct.
This season they went to, is she a therapist? A life coach?
I think she's a
okay, they went to Iyanla.
But they've also gone to a therapist, an actual clinical doctor therapist in the past. Yes, they went to one in the past. So I think it's good that they see that. I think it's good for not just in churches, but in black families. In the black community, it's kind of taboo if you see a therapist, but people need to understand what they're going through. You need help. Everybody needs someone to help them see a different perspective in their relationship, in their marriage, in their home. So I think it's good that they have someone that they bring in to show that it's okay to talk to someone that can help your family outside of y'all's perspective, everybody in your group.
One point that what I took from the show when I watched it, like I said, I keep referencing that part because to me that part was crucial, where she made them tell her what are the values, what does this family stand on. And one of them made reference to how it was always understood in their house, what happens in the family business, keep it in the family.
Right.
So just how you were talking about black families and dealing with hurt and seeing somebody and talking to somebody, you can't do that. That's why they didn't go to counseling. You so focused on keeping your family business.
I know they did that, but that's not healthy.
It's not healthy. But I'm just saying,
it's a healthy solution to any family. I understand you don't go tell your family business. I understand especially since he was a pastor.
He was a pastor, right?
But I don't think it's fair. Even if you're teaching your children that, if you are a PK, if you are coming, you don't even have to be a PK. If you're teaching your children to keep what happens in this home, that's not fair to the child. If there is abuse in the home, if there is sexual molestation, if there's any type of if you have wrong habits or issues in the family that are going on, it's not fair to say keep it in the family. That person has no outlet. And the way they internalize that and then how they deal with it comes out in the worst ways when you're not taught to deal with a situation in a proper manner. So,
but I don't think, that could be the case in some families that there's a lot of issues, especially the abuse of what you said. But even the ones where there is no abuse, it's just you want to be so private that the idea is not it's family business. It could hurt your feelings. It could be something that you carry with you for the rest of your life, but guess what? It's family business, so you're not going to talk to nobody about it but us. Like, we are now watching what happened. Like,
as
they
long
didn't
as
talk about it,
but if you're telling us to keep it in the family, it's not fair to just dust it under the rug, cover it up.
Right.
It's you need to talk about it, even if you talk about it with each other. I don't think it's fair that you only keep your opinions and your perspective on the situation if there is no real solution within your opinions and your perspectives. At that point, you need to see a therapist, or you need to see someone outside of the family who can help you get through your problems. And it's you better get somebody that's licensed, because for one, that's client confidentiality, so it still's not going anywhere. But it's not fair to not address a situation. It's not fair to a child if you are growing up in a situation and things aren't right. The children pick up on stuff when stuff isn't right in the home, and it's not fair for them to have to internalize that and figure out how to deal with whatever's going on. It's not fair to make them deal with it on their own. They have to figure out how to do that at the age of 8, 9, 10. There's no telling how they socially will become as they grow older. It's just not fair. So having help is always
okay.
good.
So now that you have children,
I am learning.
Have you thought about, okay, at a certain age, if there's any type of issue, what am I gonna say? Like, I can't tell them keep family business, family business.
No, but I've already met people who I know who work in social counseling. Who I've met people who I trust, that if I have a situation, I'll go to them, or I'll let my child go to them. I've even already had a situation with one of my children, and I've gotten their opinion or their perspective of how to deal with it, and they're telling me how to monitor it so it won't fester and they grow into, to avoid them ending up with socially awkward habits. I'm still getting advice now. I had to learn it. I had to get it. Like, I don't have all the answers, and I need someone to help me, and I don't necessarily want to always ask my parents or my family about a situation. So I'm getting the help I need so that I'll be able to help them once I see signs if they need counseling or therapy.
I think now what we're basically saying is how it's playing out. None of them really got a chance to deal with that situation and how it hurt them. Even now, like even on the episodes, if you watch, I don't know if you watch the show, but even when you watch it and the mom talks about the husband or the ex-husband, or whenever the father is referenced, it's always, oh, do we tell? Like when they say, oh, do we tell mommy, daddy's coming? Like,
correct.
Even
I think that's so
unfair.
That is so unfair.
It's something they should have addressed a long time ago.
Right.
This is something that has all of them are grown. All of them have children now.
And it's not fair to the children. And the children have to pick, am I going to grandmama or granddaddy's? Right. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
But it does go to show how if you don't deal with whatever, even though they're not together, they don't even have to get back together.
Correct.
They didn't have to, but just deal with what happened since.
And I feel bad for the grandparents. I feel bad for their parents because their parents should be at a point where
Whose parents?
I feel bad for Evelyn and Michael because they should be at a point where they say, okay, I may not like you. I definitely think he is there too. And I think she needs to comprehend, I at least need to be present for my grandchildren.
Right.
If I need to be in the same setting, if they all want to go on a family vacation or spend time together for the holidays, I need to be able to look at this man, interact with this man, and they not pick up a funny vibe. They shouldn't pick up a vibe from 30, 40 years ago. That means she hadn't gotten help. Evelyn has not gotten help. I don't think so. She can say she's over it all day long. But if you can't be in the same room with him, I can't say that because that's not fair to her because you never know how deep the hurt was. I just hate that it seems as if they can't be in the same room together for the sake of the rest of the family. So, it's a difficult situation. My heart goes out to the Braxtons.
It was a very interesting. I mean, and like you said, they are having to portray this in front of the camera. Like, who really wants to go to a counseling session?
Right.
With their siblings on TV.
Right. Now, I will say this. This is my own personal opinion, and because it's our podcast, I can throw my opinion out there. I really do feel bad for Traci. I still feel like I understand why they're upset. I completely understand why they're upset with Traci, but I feel bad for Traci because I also feel like they're not giving her opportunity to finally follow in her dreams
they feel like
without them feeling some kind of way. Because you kept going. You kind of left her hanging back then. She had to grow up on her own, raise her child. She didn't really have her family then the way she has them now, and for you to turn your back on her now.
So they can't say we're not going to take this opportunity so you can
I'm
raise your
definitely
child.
not saying that, but I'm not saying leave her out in the cold because of that. And
what should they have done?
It seems as if they did not even have a relationship with her even back then and then what was the album? Did it ever come out? Like, you went through all of that. Okay, so you went through all of that and it still didn't work out. It's just sad that you just got your relationship on track with her. Seems like when you picked up this show. It seems like that's when it became a do-over for
But that's
her.
what it seems like. We don't really know.
We do not know, and for her to not be able to have her dream lived out now with it being a problem for them, I kind of think that's unfair. I do. I'm sorry.
I do see your point there. I'm not gonna say it's unfair. It's like
it's
you see both
easy
sides.
to say let's boycott, and you got millions. It's easy to say, okay, we're gonna stop the show, and she still has more than Traci. Let's just be real. They all have more than Traci. Traci had way more to lose. And it seems like you didn't consider she has more to lose, y'all. We may not be able to do this. That's not fair to her. So to me, in that aspect, my heart goes out to y'all. Y'all need to work on your relationship. We're praying for y'all. We got a 24-hour prayer going on in Memphis, Tennessee at our church. We probably need to put y'all in the prayer circle. We pray for y'all. So anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to this episode. It's been a great episode with you all, and we will come back.
You can contact us at thepksocial@gmail.com and at thepksocial on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks. Follow us. Email us if you'd like for us to cover a special topic for you. If you have questions for us, email us as well at thepksocial@gmail.com. Thanks so much, guys. We'll be back next week. Have a great week.